Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Pauline. Here you can see I am using again the autumn sweater book that came with Papercraft Essentials issue 202. I've just used one of my own embossing folders that has flowers and leaves, as I thought it fitted in nicely, and I've just picked a piece of ribbon to pop round it that coordinates with it all. Here I'm just using some tape just to stick the ribbon down. I've carried the tape round to the back so it puts the ribbon right the way round for me. Now I'm just sticking that down. Now I'm just going to stick the backing paper down using my Collall glue, which is my favourite, my go-to glue. The backing paper came from the autumn sweater book as well. Now I'm just sticking the topper on. Again, I'm using my Collall glue. Well, it's not really a topper, it's my embossed paper, just to give a bit more to the card. These cards are different to the ones I made yesterday because I've actually brought in other things from my own stash and used my cut and boss and things like that rather than just using from the book. Now I'm just picking a topper, decided on the squirrel. I've decided to get his acorns, but I'm not going to use that as a pumpkin. And I've got a sentiment as well. Just cutting off the little nibbly bits, as I find these quite annoying. There we go. And the same on the squirrel. These are beautiful toppers. Just using my Tim Holtz Ranger scissors there. Just trimming around the pumpkin, those little nibbly bits. But this won't actually look like a pumpkin when I put it down on the card, because I shall actually cover the stem with a squirrel. And then it just looks like an abstract shape. Now I'm just going to pop the pumpkin down with the Collall glue, because this gives me a bit of wiggle time and I can make sure it's in the right place so the squirrel covers the stem. I'm just popping the squirrel down using some foam pads, and these I believe I got from the works. Just taking the back ends off, they actually come off quite easily, and just popping it in place. Now just the sentiment to pop down. Just decided to put that off to the side so everything's coming down in like a sweeping motion rather than in the centre. So everything's sort of going from the top left corner down to the right bottom corner. And there we go. That's the card. Card number 1 done today. Now we're moving on to card number 2, which I've decided I'm going to use the paper strips, and I'm going to do a basket weave, or attempt a basket weave. Just trimming up some pieces. They don't all have to be the same length, same width. Got the last little bit stuck in there. Using my hunky dory guillotine, and I'm just trimming the sides off that piece because I'm going to use the rest of it for another card. but I just wanted that colour, just to break up all the browns. Got my tape runner out because I figured that would be easier than waiting for wet glue to dry. And like it says on the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Every little helps. Just trimming that one in half because I've realised there'll be enough for 2 strips there. So basket weave is just simply like we used to do as kids at school, under, over, under, over. On the top row you have to glue everyone down, but on the subsequent rows you can just glue the ends pieces. So top row and the bottom row to the most fiddly. So just getting all my pieces. I've gone with 5 across, and I think I end up with 6 down to give myself a rectangle. Just continuing that simple under, over, and just sticking down the ends. So just deciding what strip to use next. Again, they're all different widths, all different lengths, doesn't matter because you trim them off at the end, or you could leave them abstract. It's entirely up to you. So another piece of the light colour, just feel it breaks it up a little, stops it being too dark. A little bit about myself. I choose to do my voiceover rather than talking as I'm making the cards, as I have 4 dogs and they can get a little lively if they hear something, and then you wouldn't hear me, and it might put you off watching another video, but they are beautiful, bless them. Right, and that's it. So now I'm just going to trim that down using an older pair of scissors, because in case there's any glue, I don't want to ruin my scissors. There's nothing worse than sticky scissors when you're trying to cut out something quite intricate. And that's it. The finished panel. I'm just getting rid of the tiny little pieces, but I'm keeping the longer strips to use another time. Now I'm just working out the placement where I'd like to put everything. I'm picking a topper. As you can see, I ruined the first topper I used because I chopped all the gold from around it, and it just really spoilt the look. It totally lost what it needed. And I've just took a special friend sentiment out there, and now I'm just looking for a backing paper to go with that strip of leaves I left. So I went with this pretty one with pumpkins and leaves and a little grey in it as well, and a little bit of the gold. I think it's got, I'm not sure if they're pears or not. It's got acorns, it's really pretty. I'd quite like to see that in a picture frame. Yeah, this is where I wreck the topper. Which is really quite a nice topper, but there is another one in the book, thankfully. So maybe, so this isn't a total waste, I could cut a strip out of that, maybe at a diagonal or something, and stick that on top of the other topper with some foam pads to give it a bit of height. Now I'm just making that paper strip 13 centimetres so it fits on the backing paper. Working out where I would like everything to be placed. Still trying to work with that topper, but you'll see it soon gets moved out the way. Sticking it all down with my collal glue. Just popping that down just to break up the pattern a bit, give it a little bit of something else. It's not very often I would put two patterns together, but I thought I'd break the norm and try something new. Here you see I've decided to switch to the leaf, which is absolutely beautiful. And I've decided that that's not straight enough, so I'm just going to trim that up with my hunky-dory guillotine. Just work out where I'm going to place that on the card. And now I'm just going to stick it all down. So I did use my glue tape runner for this. Not sure why, it's not something I'd usually do, but I suppose I've got 12 of them because they were buy 6 get 6 free from Create and Craft, so I should really use them up. Bit of glue for the leaf and making sure I get it on that stem because I wouldn't want it to get caught going in and out the envelope and broke. Now I'm just chopping the little nibbly bits off the sentiment, which simply says special friend. Deciding where to put it. Ended up with going off to the left there. Using the glue. I didn't go with the foam pads. So this is a perfectly flat card, perfect for posting. And there you go. I hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really trying to build my channel up. Obviously, the more videos I make, the more I'll get used to this. This is the first one I've actually managed to pop a voiceover on. It took some time to work out the MacBook, but I'm getting there. Now I'm just looking for a backing paper for this one. I've gone with a gingham. I cut a circle out of some of my own cardstock using my cut and emboss and just a simple circle die. Just trimming that down to a 13 centimetre square because that seems to work best as your first layer on these decal cards. Now I should simply place that in the centre. Now just looking for a topper. Absolutely love this one. It's like you're gazing into a walkway that's just covered with trees and all the autumn leaves. There you go, working on the placement. Although I wish I'd scored around where I was putting that, so I could have maybe lifted those sides up that are left from the circle, giving it a bit of interest. But as you can see, I don't actually finish this card, and I'll finish that in the next video. So I could actually add a bit of interest to it, but I think as I stuck it down, I will probably just end up cutting some leaves or something and putting round it, just to break up those strange pieces left behind by putting a rectangle on a circle. And we're almost finished this video. I'd like to say thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. I know I've probably waffled on and the video's a little long, but like I say, I will get there and things will get better. And thank you very much, and big love to you all, and stay safe. And don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. Thank you.